Hello everyone, welcome back to day 5. Oh my goodness, we're on day 5 already of my spring 2021 series. This series is in collaboration with Rosa Kelly from Rosa Kelly Scrapbooking and Deborah Adams from Deborah Adams Creative Life. I will link both of their channels below, so make sure to go check out their videos for this 6 days. There will be a giveaway. All you need to do to enter the giveaway for this series is to comment below every video, and you have to be a subscriber. And then I will pick the winner on May 3rd, and I will show actually what we're giving away tomorrow on the last day of my series. So I don't have today's project in front of me to show you because I actually already gave it away to my niece. But the pictures will be there and the tutorial will be following this, and you basically see the finished project by the end of the tutorial. But I did use the Cocoa Vanilla Studios Happiness collection for this. It's a super cute bright paper pad, and I also used some of the ephemera from the Cocoa Vanilla Midnight collection. Okay, so it's a really fun tutorial. There's a notebook. There is a expandable pocket on one side, so super fun. So let's get to the tutorial, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the last day of our series. Okay guys, let's get started on our cute little journal here. So we're going to start with the cover. So for the cover, you're going to need 2 pieces of your medium weight chipboard that measure 6 inches wide by 9 inches tall. So 2. And then one that's 1.5 inches by 9. That's the chipboard we're going to need. And then to wrap the chipboard for the larger pieces, so your 6 by 9, you're going to need pieces that are 8 by 11. So 8 inches wide by 11 inches tall. And then for your spine piece, you're going to need a piece that measures 11 by 4.5 to wrap this. Okay, so let's get started with our larger piece first. So all we're going to do is glue this right to the center of our lightweight cardstock. So we've got 65-pound weight cardstock. And I am going to use my Fabri-Tac to attach the chipboard to the cardstock, just like I always do when I'm using lighter weight cardstock. And we're just going to attach it right in the center there, just like this. All right, I'm going to just push this over to dry while I attach my spine piece. So the spine piece is going to get attached with 1 inch at the top and the bottom, and then centered in the middle here, okay? So again, just use my Fabri-Tac, just like so. All right, right in the center here, just like this. So I said leaving 1 inch the top and the bottom, and then 1.5 inches on the sides, just like so. All right, and then that is good. And then you're going to want to do the same thing for your larger piece as well. And we're going to set this aside to dry now. And we're going to bring this one back in, and we're going to fold over our cardstock over all of our chipboard on all 4 sides. And then we can grab the bone folder and reinforce those a little bit. Get a crisper fold. Just like so. Now I'm going to grab my scissors, and I'm going to cut across here. So by folding, we created this little square right here. And we are just going to cut right across there, right? We're going to basically cut this square out. So what I'll do is I'm going to cut right across All right, so we've got our corners cut. Now I'm going to start with my shorter sides. I'm going to glue my shorter sides down first. Okay, so we've wrapped both of our larger pieces of chipboard. Now we're going to wrap the smaller piece, our spine. So what we're going to do first is go ahead and fold in the top and the bottom. So fold in the two short sides, just like this. And get a nice burnish on them, just like so. And then we are going to add our glue. So I'm going to put a little bead right along the spine and then all over this section here that we folded over. Be generous with your glue. And I'm going to bring it down. And first I'm going to burnish in the middle where my spine is. Then I'm going to come down to either side of my spine and really burnish on both sides of the chipboard. Get a really nice crease in there. Just like that. And then same thing on the other side. All right, so now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and fold both sides over the chipboard. So both of our little spine sides. And make sure you get it right up against the chipboard and burnish. And then same thing on this side. All right, now we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut diagonally from this corner here, so from the corner of our spine down to where the cardstock we folded over starts. So just like this, and then I'll flip it here just so it's easier for me. And I'll cut up from here to there. And then same thing on this side and on this side, just like so. Now we're going to go ahead and add our double-sided tape. So I'm using my Sequang here, it's Sequang. So this is the 3/4 inch, but you can use a larger one as well. And I'm going to start by putting one strip down about 1/8 of an inch from where the chipboard underneath begins, and I'm actually going to go over those sides so that I know I'm going all the way. I know that I'm covering completely like this, and then I'm going to use some non-stick scissors, and I'm going to cut that excess tape off. This is just so we can make sure we're getting really nice coverage with our tape, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. You can go ahead and burnish that on. So burnish that tape on really well, just like so. All right, so that is where we should be at right now. So now we're going to bring back in our front and back cover. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to like lay this back on itself and attach it right along this side of the spine. So what I like to do is just remove one of my backings first, not all of them, and then line it up right along the spine here. And then once you've got it lined up, you can go ahead, turn it over and get those other 2 pieces of tape out of there. You can use a little tool, you can use your finger, whatever you have at your disposal. And then we can burnish that on. And then we're going to do pretty much the same thing on the other side. So just remove one of your backings. And we're going to, actually I think I'll go this way. So lay it down and then we'll do it like this. It's easier to line up. All right, and then press it down. And then again, you can take your little tool or your fingernail and remove that backing. And then we can burnish that down. All right, and that creates the little cover for our notebook. How sweet is that? And I love how clean that looks. So nice. Okay, so to cover the inside here, so the inside of our spine, we have a piece that measures 4.5 by 8 3/4, and it's just going to go centered so that there's 1/8 of an inch at the top and 1/8 of an inch at the bottom, and then so that there is 1.5 inches on each side of our spine. Okay, so I will remove all the backings. Okay, so I've removed all the backings, and now this is going to go just right on top, like I said, leaving about 1/4 inch top and bottom. It's centered over that spine, and we can place it down, and now we are going to burnish like you've never burnished before. And then you can get into your crease here and turn it around and get into that other side of your crease. All right, and then that finishes the cover portion of our book. Okay, so for our little expandable pocket that's going to be on the inside front of our cover, these are the pieces we're going to need. You're going to need one piece to start with that measures 7 by 6. And on the 7-inch side, you're going to score it 1/2 inch, and then again at 1/2 inch, or 1, sorry. There will be 2 1/2-inch sections, but you're going to score it 1/2 and at 1 on the 7-inch side. And then I've already attached my score tape to this section right here. And I am just going to miter my corners just so it's neater and even. All right, so now on the reverse side of this, we're going to attach our little expandable pocket mechanisms. So these measure 5 7/8 by 2, okay? 5 7/8 by 2 inches. And they're not the full 6-inch length of my pocket because I didn't want it to be like bunching up at the bottom. So what you're going to do is you're going to put it in your scoreboard with the 2-inch side going across the top, and you're going to score it 1/2 inch at 1 and at 1.5. And you're going to do that twice for these pieces. So what I'm going to do is we want our W, so it's like a W shape once you score it or once you do your burnishing and everything. So the first line, the first score mark is going to fold down. The second one is going to fold up. And the third one is going to fold down. And that's going to give you like your W shape, okay? So this is going to get attached to each side. Both of them will get attached to each side with the W going towards the inside, the point of the W going towards the inside of our pocket. So I'm just going to remove a little bit of my backing, just like this. And I'm going to fold it over and I'm going to line it up. Actually, I'm going to expose the bottom, not the top. And I'm going to line it up so that this is all the way to the top and all the way to the edge of this side of my pocket. All right, so it's all the way to the top and all the way to this edge. And then we can go ahead and remove the rest. Just slowly. We can press it down just like that. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So just attach it so that your W is going in the middle of the point of your W. Remove a bit of the backing and just line it up on this side. All right, and then you can give that a press down. All right, so you should have something that looks like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and move this aside while we work on the top part of our pocket, of our expandable pockets. So for the top part, you're going to need a piece that measures 5 by 6, so 5 inches wide by 6 inches tall, or sorry, 6 inches wide by 5 inches tall. And you're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 1 from the top. So from the edge of your paper here, you're going to mark down 3 inches to here, 3 inches. And then from here down, you're going to mark 3 inches. So from here to here, 3 inches. And then on the center here, you're going to mark at 3 inches as well. So on your 6-inch length, you're going to mark at 3 inches. And then all we're going to do is where you made those marks, we're going to cut across to this mark here and across to this mark here. So I'm just putting it in to my paper cutter. I'm lining up those 2 notches. I'm going to cut across. And then I'm going to line up the notches again and cut across, and that's going to give us this point shape, okay? And then for our pattern paper to cover that, you're going to need a piece that measures 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, and you're going to mark down 1 3/4 inches and 1 3/4 inches, and find your center mark, which is 2 7/8, okay? So it's just the 1/8 right before 3. And we're going to do the same thing. So we marked down 1 3/4, 1 3/4, and we marked our center at 2 7/8. So we are just going to connect those 2 tick marks, cut across, and do the same thing on the other side, just like this. Okay, and that is going to layer in here just like this. And then for our bottom here, for the bottom of our pocket, you're going to need a piece that measures 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So this is the top of our pocket. So what we need to do before we glue either one of these on, we have to put our little closure mechanism on there. So what I've done here for our closure is I cut 2 hearts out of black cardstock first. These are just die cuts, and then I also cut them out of gold cardstock, and I layered them together. And now all I'm going to do for my closure is I'm going to take it and just basically kind of place it where I want on the top here, the section, this piece of pattern paper. And I'm going to get my little pokey where I can poke into. This is just an old stamp block protector. And it's just a foam. You can use anything like a magazine, anything that you can kind of poke into. And now, so I made a hole. Now I'm going to put a brad through here. Just a simple brad. This is just a white one. And I am going to open it at the back and just kind of press it down a little bit more. And then I'm just going to get a piece of my tape and secure that. And then we're going to glue this onto our little top piece here, because we need to have it on before we can decide where the other part of the closure mechanism goes. So I'm just using my arc glitter glue to attach that. Just like this. And I'm just going to layer it right into here. Just like so. That already looks adorable. All right, so now we're gonna get our book back, and we are going to attach the top of our pocket before we attach the layer down here, just because I think it'll be easier that way. So what we're gonna do is just remove this backing. I'm gonna remove the entire backing back here on both sides, just because I think this will be the easiest way to do it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and line up my pocket. So with this top, the top 1/2 inch gusset here, I'm gonna line it up on top of here till it sticks like that. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Just line it up till it's even and just kind of tack it to the back. And then we're gonna remove the backing of this little strip here, that was on the back of our pockets. And now I'm just gonna guide this down, making sure my bottom gusset stays nice and straight up and down. So I'm just gonna take my bone folder, once you guide that down, and just kind of press in between where your little accordion pocket part is. Just press in there to press it down. All right, and then same thing here. You can go into the top of your pocket to press down the back of it. And then that creates our cute little expandable pocket. So now this closes down. So what I'm going to do now is take my piece of pattern paper and place it in here, just like this. And I'm going to get my other heart and kind of decide where this one needs to be. So this one is smaller. So I want it about right there. So I'm just going to scooch it over and make a mark. It doesn't have to be super exact. And then take your heart and just lay it on top of that mark that we made. Just like this. And then again, we're going to poke through and then grab another white brad and put it through, and then open it up at the back. Just like so. Just press it nice and flat. And then we can grab our tape, again, just to secure it. And then we're going to remove the backing from this and get our glue all over this piece. And attach it with our nice little black border all the way around on top of here. Just like so. And then for the closure, I'm just gonna use this white embroidery thread, and I'm gonna loop it under my heart at the top here. And I'm going to make one tie like this. And then I'm gonna loop it again at the top and make another tie. And then I'm going to bring it down under my other little heart and kind of pull it tight. And then bring it under here again. This is cute. And then one more time around. Just like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut off my excess thread on this side, and then I just like to leave a little bit hanging here. So that is our super cute little expandable pocket for the... Okay, so for our little signature here, what you're going to need is a piece of your cardstock. So I just use lightweight for my signature covers. That measures 11 inches wide by 12 inches, or sorry, 11 and a half wide by 12 inches. So you don't cut anything off the 12-inch side, but off the other 12-inch side, you're just going to cut half an inch down to 11 and a half. Then you're going to put it in your scoreboard with the 12-inch side going this way, and you're going to score at 8 3/4 right here. So score at 8 3/4. And then I don't actually score mine in the middle. I just fold it in half. To get my fold, okay? On the 11 and a half inch side, I just fold it in half. And then this part here, so this little section that we created by scoring at 8 3/4, we're gonna fold that up. And what we're gonna need to do is cut out a little bit here. So what I've done is I marked in from my line here, I marked in an inch. So from the center line to here, I marked an inch, and from this center line to here, I marked an inch. Okay, so now all we're gonna do is take our scissors and we're gonna cut from this tick mark down to this where the score line starts down here at the bottom. So just cut down to there, just like so. And then we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side and just cut out that entire center section, just like this. And then to close in these pockets, we're just going to put a little bit of our glue on the sides here. So these sides here. So you can definitely use tape if you'd like. I'm going to use glue and bring it up. And then we will get our bone folder. And burnish that down really well. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So just add some glue along that edge. Like that, and bring it up and give that a good burnish. Just like so. And then for our pages inside of our signature here, all you're gonna do is take some printer paper. This is just plain printer paper, and all I've done is on the 11-inch side, because printer paper is 8.5 by 11. So on the 11-inch side, I literally just folded it in half. I fold mine individually, so I fold each piece one at a time. But you can do it however you want if you want to fold it multiple times. But all I did is with the printer paper on the 11-inch side. So with the 11-inch side across the top, I just folded them in half, okay? And these are what is going to make our pages to go inside of our signature, just like this. Okay, so to bind our little signature here, what I've done is I've just gone ahead and put 2 clips on just to secure it. So I've kind of made sure that there's an even black border all the way around. And then what I did is, since our signature height is 8 3/4, I made a mark at 4 3/8, and then I made another mark 1.5 inches down from the top and 1.5 inches down from the bottom right in my spine, just with a pen. And now all we're going to do is take a pokey tool of some kind, and I'm going to poke all the way through with this hole, or all the way through till I come out the other side, just like that. And the same down here, just make sure you're in your spine and poke through. You don't have to come all the way through. You don't want a giant hole. And then this last one here until you're through. Okay. Now I've got my little string here. So all I've got here is kind of a thicker needle. This is actually, I got one that I got in like a furniture repair kit from Amazon. It has a bunch of different needles in it, and it's a little bit thicker, and the tip isn't like super sharp. And then I've also just got some embroidery thread here. This is just white. You could use any color. So I'm actually going to start from the back. I'm going to go in from the back and come through to the front here, just like this. And I'm going to bring my string through just so that there's like a little bit hanging out. Well, maybe more than a little bit, about that much hanging out the back. Then I'm going to go through my top hole and out the back. And then at the back here, I'm going to go down and go through my bottom hole down here and come up and back through. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then I'm going to go back through my center hole, just like this. So I wanted my little string to be showing at the back because I want the little hangy bits for this particular project. If I didn't want that, if I wanted it to look like this on the outside, then I would have started with my needle and gone through the inside first, then come up through the back and repeat the same steps. But you would have ended up with these two little strings on the inside versus the outside, okay? But I wanted them on the outside for this project. So now I'm making sure that I have one string on this side of this center string and one string on this side. And I'm making sure it's really nice and tight. And now I'm just going to go ahead and tie those off. And I'm not going to cut any off. I might even make a bow. Well, I'll cut it off so it's even on this side. But I'm going to make a double knot first, so it's nice and secure. Just like this. And then I think I'll make a cute little bow. Because like I said, this will be showing. And I wanted it, in this case, to be showing on the outside. So just a sweet little bow. And like I said, I'm not going to cut any off because I want it to kind of look like that on the edge, okay? And then we can take these little clips off. And now our little journal, or our signature, I guess, is bound, okay? Okay, now to attach our little notebook into our book, what you're going to need is a strip that measures 1.5 by 8 3/4, and on the 1.5 inch side you're going to score it 1/2 inch and then flip and score it 1/2 inch again, so you have 2 1/2 inch flaps on either side, and then you'll have a 3/4 inch gusset in the middle. And then what you want to do is burnish them both up, both the flaps, but you're going to want to attach your score tape to the outside of one of the flaps and to the inside of one of the flaps, because this flap is going to get attached down into our book, and then this flap here is what our notebook is going to get attached to, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and miter my corners, just like so. So make sure, get them nicely mitered. So I'm going to take a little bit of the backing off of this one, and it's going to get attached along this edge here. centered between the top and the bottom, but all the way to the side. You can remove the rest of your backing. All right, so now with our notebook, what we're gonna do is this side here, so the front of it, I guess, is gonna get attached right here to this flap. So this is the front of our notebook, so you're going to flip it over, open it up, and it's gonna get, the front of it here is gonna get attached right to this flap here. So I'm gonna remove, again, just a bit of the backing and take and line it up. It's the exact same height as our notebook, so it should line up pretty good. Make sure not to go past the folding line. You can actually go back from it a little bit, because we need that to be able to fold over. So before I close it, just gonna make sure we didn't go past. And then you can remove the rest of that backing, just like so. And then this is gonna flip inside the book. I'm just gonna kind of press that out so I can reinforce this score line here. And then, yeah, this will flip outside of the book, and then you can use your notebook over here on a nice flat surface. Okay, so for the closure of our little journal, we're just going to use seam binding. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape right there, just like this, and remove the backing. This doesn't overly need a closure, but I just really wanted to use this pretty, like, minty green seam binding. And then you're going to put a piece on the other side in generally the same place on the back of the book, and then remove that backing, and then this can go right there, and then we'll just cut it in the middle, and then we'll tie our bow when we're ready. You need to do this before adding your pattern paper. So I'm going to go ahead and decorate the book now. I'm going to fast forward. So remember, our rule is we always just go down 1/4 inch for layering. So this front here is 9 by 6. So my first layer is going to be 5 3/4 by 8 3/4. I'm using this pretty paper pad from Cocoa Vanilla Studios. It is called Happiness. It's super, super pretty. These papers are 6 by 8, and my book is 9 by 6, right? So if I wanted to just put a piece here, it would still be short on the bottom. So what I've done is first I cut as the pattern paper layer. So this one is 5 3/4 by 8 3/4, and then I've cut another one that is just 1/4 inch smaller, but remember this is only 8 inches. And then what I did is I also just cut a strip that's going to go across on the bottom here to fill in that space. But so you might see me doing that throughout the decorating process. I'm also going to throw on a video of me coloring this little cute digital stamp. This is from Saturated Canary. You can find her on Etsy. Super, super cute. So I have a video of me coloring her and then also fussy cutting her. So yeah, I'm going to throw on the decorating process for you, and I hope you enjoy. Okay guys, we are almost done decorating this adorable little notepad holder book, whatever we're calling it. So I just want to show you guys how to mat these cute little pockets inside of our signature there. So you're going to need a piece that measures 3 inches by 5.5, and then you're just going to lay it on top of the pocket. I know it's kind of hard to tell. Here we go, because of the black on black, but so you're gonna layer it on top so you have 3 even sides of black showing, and then up here at the top you're just gonna make a little tick mark about the same amount of space in as your other 3 sides. So just like this, there's our little tick mark. And now we're just gonna take your scissor, or you could use your paper trimmer, and line up your corner with that tick mark. Just like this. You're going to cut from the outermost bottom corner up to that tick mark. You're going to cut that off. And then that's going to give you your perfect little layer for the top of, or for your little inside pockets here. So you can throw that on. And then that pretty much finishes the decorating process. Aside from the spine, we just need to do the spine. So for the spine, I have a piece of the blue cardstock I've been using that measures 1 1/4 by 8 3/4, and then I have a piece that measures 1 1/8 by 8. So I'm just going to put some glue on there. So I only made this 1/8 of an inch shorter or narrower than my spine piece, which it looks like more, but it's not, I guess. All right, so I'm just going to glue that on there just like this. And then we'll glue this onto the spine. Just like so. Right into the center here. Make sure that it's nice and even all the way down. And then I've got this little cut apart. I've been using the Midnight die cut ephemera from this collection, or from, it's also come from Cocoa Vanilla, but it's the Midnight collection. Because this one I actually only have the 6x8 pad. I didn't have any ephemera or anything else, so I thought it's kind of okay since it's the same collection and they're both kind of like pink themed. So that is gonna go right there. I think that looks really, really cute. And then that finishes our little book, you guys. I absolutely love it. I might, I'm not sure yet. I might put still a strip of something here. Whether it's the blue cardstock or some pattern paper, but you'll see that in the beginning of this video if I decided to do that or not. I'm pretty torn about that. The back I just did with the blue cardstock. So that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I think this is a unique little one. I absolutely love it. It's actually going to be a gift for my little niece, so I'm very, very excited. It has a very young and vibrant vibe to it. So you see it has our little notebook in here. It has our expandable pocket. I absolutely love it. So thank you so much for joining me for the tutorial, and I'll see you back tomorrow for another wonderful day of our spring series. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you tomorrow.